Yo-ho-ho! So today I'm going to do a library haul. I've never done one of these before, but I figured since it's the start of the year I might as well do one. I also was planning to do like a Christmas birthday book haul combined, but I actually got money instead and I haven't decided what I want to buy with my money yet. So I figured I should do a library book haul since I hit the maximum amount of books you can get out at one time from my library. And also I would like some recommendations because it's the start of the new year and I like making a list every January of books that I want to get to throughout the year. And since I'm using the library now like a mad bastard, I would love to get some recommendations from you guys to see if there's anything you think I'd be interested in reading, or if there's anything you want reviewed, let me know. I'd really appreciate it. So let's get into it. The first book I picked up was Kitchen by Banana Yoshimoto. I've read this already. It's only a little tiny mass market paperback. When I picked it up, I got my wires crossed because I thought it was a love story about a trans person. There is a trans person in it and there is a love story, but the two aren't related. It's more of a story of bereavement and dealing with the loss of a loved one and coping after you're kind of like the only person left in your family. And I thought it was really, really depressing. Then I grabbed Valley of the Dolls by Jacqueline Susann, and this has been on my radar to read for a while, but it wasn't until I saw Michael put it in his top books of 2015 video that I was like, listen, I need to grab this book. And I just happened to be at the library and I saw it like from my peripheral vision and I just snagged it. Also, I read Helter Skelter last year and Sharon Tate was in the movie adaptation of this book, so I also want to watch the movie adaptation. I also grabbed Grotesque by Natsu Kurino. Yeah, what kind of grabbed me about this, it's a thriller and it just sounds really kind of dark and dingy, but the quote on the back of it says, "Suicide, pedophilia, incest and murder combine to form a story that will leave you questioning your own mortality." I was like, everyone loves a bit of incest, so I might as well pick it up. And then I got The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. One I was supposed to read in school and just never bothered my arse to. There's so much hype around The Great Gatsby and everyone's like, oh my god, The Great Gatsby. I found it kind of... I never want to see the word old and sport put together ever again. I was like, old sport? I was just expecting a little more from it. The next one I'm currently reading is Sputnik Sweetheart by Haruki Murakami. I've never read any Murakami before and I kind of had a hard time trying to pick what book I wanted to read from him because a lot of the synopsises of his books sound kind of dull to me. Don't take offense, Haruki Murakami fans, but none of them really kind of jumped out and like screamed, you have to read me, at me. And so from looking online and looking at reviews, it seemed like this was a good place to start. I'm 100 pages into it at the moment and so far I'm finding it incredibly dull. But I feel like I'm at a turning point with it where things are about to get interesting because they couldn't get any less interesting, let's be honest. Started reading this on my birthday on the 12th and I then discovered that Haruki Murakami's birthday is also the 12th of January and I was like, ooh, syncing up. Yeah, so I'll let you know what I think about it. Fingers crossed I like it. Then I picked up The Fifth Child by Doris Lessing. This sounds... When I read about it online, this sounded really fucked up, but when I read the synopsis on the back, it sounds like a family who just can't deal with a child who has a disability. So it's about this family who have like the perfect life. They've got 4 kids, a beautiful home, all that jazz, and then their 5th child is born. It describes them as large and ugly on the back, and I was like, it's a bit rough. But then it goes on to say Harriet is deeply afraid of what exactly she has brought into the world. Then I had to specially order this in. It only occurred to me recently to start looking in my library for books that are out of print, and they have a lot of the things that are on my list. So I was like, bless the gods. So I got Strangers by Taichi Yamada. And this is a Japanese ghost story. I've never read any ghost stories before, so I'm not familiar with how the Japanese do ghost stories, but it sounds like it's going to be pretty freaking good. How this book came on my radar was that I saw Sabrina's review, I'll link it below, and it sounded pretty good to me. It sounded like something I'd be dead interested in reading, so I'm going to read it. And it seems like it's going to be a pretty quick read, but I'll let you know how I get on with it. Then I grabbed another book that I was literally about to go out the door of the library and it caught my eye and I was like, oh, I've wanted to read that for so long. It's Beloved by Toni Morrison. Now, Toni Morrison is just one of those authors that I've wanted to read for years and years, and I'm finally getting around to doing it, thank Christ. This sounds like it's going to be beautiful and devastating. I feel like this is going to be probably one of my favourite books of 2016. You'll probably see it on the list next year. And I've never, ever heard anyone say anything bad about this book or about Toni Morrison's writing in general, so you can't really go wrong with that. And the last book I picked up is House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. I have been told for years now to read this book. I've been waiting for my library to get it in, and they finally got it in, and I think I might be the first person to read it because it looks brand new. I'm not quite sure what this book's about, and like, I'm never really like that with books. I normally have a solid idea of what a book is about before I try to get it. It seems like it's one of those books that's very hard to describe. From what I know is that it's about a family who move into a house and then stuff happens. I'm not even sure if it's like a ghost story or if, I don't know, excuse me if I'm wrong, but it seems that there might be two stories running side by each other, like one in the past and one in the present. Or I'm not sure. People are so bloody vague when it comes to describing this book, and it's like trying to find a solid review on Goodreads is like trying to find a needle in a haystack, because it's like so many people just put up like, I liked it or I loved it. It's like, that's not a review, that's just an opinion, and it's not a helpful opinion. Oh, I hate Goodreads. It's like, oh my god, but you should totally add me on Goodreads. It should be an interesting reading experience, so fingers crossed. And then the last things I picked up from the library, it's not book related, but I feel like it's relevant to my channel, is season 1, 2 and 3 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Woo! I've already watched season 1. I love Buffy, and I haven't watched it since it used to be on TV, so it's a very long time. So that's my haul. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.